The first African to win the European Dance Star World Championships in the solo jazz category in 2011 and followed it up with World Top Dancer at the Talent America Showcase in New York in 2013 and 2015 is the talented Paul Modjadji. The famed South African choreographer and world dance champion marks his 10th anniversary in the dance world by embarking on the Breaking Down Borders Africa tour. And this will see Modjadji travel across the continent in search of the next great talent. Modjadji joins us on the show this evening to detail his lengthy and successful career in the business of dance, as well as to discuss how he continues to celebrate the performing arts and his involvement in the Across the Borders tour. Paul.
Mr. Modise.
Pleasure to have you with us on the show.
Pleasure to finally be here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole time we meet, ambassador this, ambassador that. You don't say, hey, man, next time you meet me, pay your respects. And say,
bow down.
The top Modjadji in the world is me. But it's good to catch up with you.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm starting with what you're about to do, and I'll work my way backwards,
Fantastic.
right? This cross-border tour that you are taking, and it's 10 countries that you're visiting. Okay, what's the story? What are you doing, actually? What do you go around doing?
We are taking dance, the African dance story to the world. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's a documentary series that we're shooting.
Yeah.
We're going to be following me go on my first Africa endeavor, because as much as I'm celebrated globally,
Yes.
I've never actually really done much for the continent.
Yes.
My footprint is not as visible in the continent as it is in other countries around the world.
Yeah.
So I'm going in search of discovering the talent that lies fresh in the continent. It's about tourism, it's about meeting young people, young-minded people in the continent, and yeah.
You know, dance is something. When we talk about you being top dancer,
Sure.
then the immediate thing that comes to mind is to categorize the dance,
Absolutely.
right? Now, in your case, what is it? Is it pantsula? Is it jazz? What is it?
Jazz, I'd say. You know, I'd say jazz is my number one sort of mastery type technique. As much as I'm trained in ballet, in contemporary, and a lot of street styles, because I started in the street.
Yes.
And somewhere along the way, I decided that I wanted to go to school and formalize. And I went to Denmark. I got a scholarship there to study. I studied with Swan University of Technology. So it's, you know, it's a craft that I've had to, over the years,
Yes.
perfect.
Okay, so it's not just a thing you pick up in the street and off you go.
Well,
You studied it in a formal sense.
I mean, look, if you want to carry it to a point of being like a dance expert or a teacher and, you know, do workshops around the world, you definitely need your paper, you know. But absolutely, I know so many great dancers that are raw, that are fresh, that have never necessarily been through institutions, that are just as talented.
Okay, so now you have run programs here in South Africa, interacted with thousands of young people. What do you teach them? I mean, what happens when you say, including the trip that you're just about to embark on, what will you be looking for?
Technique.
You know, okay,
Yeah.
we'll get to that. Let's start with South Africa first.
Sure.
What is it that you would be doing with all the youngsters that you've worked with?
In South Africa?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that I try and share with young people in South Africa is that they need to go and formalize what they do. So take the technical part of dancing, because as much as you can be an amazing banzola dancer, it's going to carry you up to so far. You won't be able to perform in Broadway unless you do a specific banzola show.
Yes.
So what we try and do with a lot of the master classes that I do is introduce dance basic technique work. So we introduce you to classical work. We make you understand how your body works, you know, how to turn in, how to turn out. We make you understand the techniques, the sort of mechanics that you need. Like if you were to think of going to journalism school, there's techniques that you need to understand about how to tell a story, what makes a story. So those basic technical groundings.
So when you go into the other countries,
Sure.
as you will be soon, what will you be looking for?
I think more than anything, I'm trying to put a little bit back. I'm trying to put back rather my technical eyes and rather look for the cultural richness that is out there. You know, a lot of what we see internationally is inspired by Africa. You know, if you look at artists like Beyonce and Chris Brown, there's a lot of similarities and synergies to African dance styles. So I'm looking to go to Nigeria to see something different and something unique to Nigeria that perhaps I cannot find in Uganda, you know. So in that way, it's more a cultural heritage and a cultural
Well, you know,
trip.
I want to use South Africa again.
Yeah.
What is unique about South African dance? What is it?
Oh my God, the diversity.
Yes.
When you go anywhere in the world, you find very formal type of dances. Like you find ballet, jazz, contemporary, and maybe hip hop and tap. So there's like a few styles. We have all of the international dance styles, plus your bourgeois, your spanzolas, your traditional dances. So the diversity that you find here is a lot more than most countries can give. Even when you think of countries like Ireland, where they've got Irish dance, which is a traditional dance,
Yes.
you find that it's only that.
Yes.
But here, I mean, we have 11 tribes, which
Yeah.
gives us 11 traditional dances already.
Yeah.
And then I'm not even talking about the street cultures that within this bourgeois, you find other breakout dance styles and cultures. So the diversity here is rich.
So what's the modern dance now? Maybe you can help empower me. You start discovering with me. Maybe become the great discovery for
There
you.
we go. I would say, you know, the beauty about where the streets are right now in South Africa is
Yeah.
that we are mixing and fusing everything. So you find that the hip hop guys are borrowing from Spanzola as well. There's bourgeois guys are borrowing from the Skotanis. So you find that there's a lot of cross-cultural dance cultures that are crossing.
And your involvement in the whole dance culture and becoming internationally renowned, winning awards, becoming a big star in the US and in Europe.
Sure.
Over what period of time? It's 10 years now?
Yeah, 10 years in business officially, but in terms of my skill sets, or rather the number of years that I've been actually dancing, we're looking at about, I think, 16 this year.
Yeah.
That I've been like
And
perfecting my craft.
And your interest in it, was it more through the university, the TUT route, or was it just something that you loved doing anyway?
I think my interest was more something I loved anyways. I mean, until I got a scholarship to study in Denmark, I never thought of dance as a career option.
Yes.
And it was just not something that I really thought I was that particularly good at, or that I felt I could do it that far.
Yes.
But I knew I could dance. I mean, my entire life I've been doing dance classes, but I never thought about it on that level. And I would say that for me personally, my interest has always been there. But the professional element was almost just life taking me in that direction, or my talent taking me in that direction.
Well, I'm pleased that you're doing what you're doing now with Dance Uncovering Talent, and I wonder what's going to happen with that talent. It's going to be showcased in the documentary.
Oh,
Is that
yes,
what's
it
going
is.
Now, but a lot of people who are very good when it comes to dancing,
Yeah.
they just do it because they love it. You know, it's like a natural, immediate, intuitive type response when you hear the sounds that move you.
Yeah.
Right? And the body moves.
Absolutely.
And that's about it. That you could turn it into something that you follow and do is still something that some of us and a lot of us are battling with or trying to appreciate.
The commercialization of dance as a career is something that I think globally we still have a long way in terms of uncovering. I mean, particularly in Africa, you know, which is where my passion is right now. I really want to show the next young South African dancer that they can commercialize it, that they can create an entrepreneurship or be entrepreneurial with that talent. And it's something that definitely one can do. And I think, if anything, I'm hoping and I'm praying that my life will be a prototype or a model of exactly that, of what is possible when you perfect your craft and you create a business model around it.
But I think, you know, the part of the thing about dance is it can be somewhat constraining. When you say dance, remember where we started with the conversation. Already I'm thinking of how to compartmentalize it.
That's it.
And isn't it a weakness, a shortcoming that you want to ballroom dance?
That's it.
This kind of dance.
Well,
and then you separate it when dance should
be generic, right?
Yeah,
for everyone.
Yeah.
But I think that's the beauty about where the evolution of dance is. 10 years ago, when I got in the business, you needed to specialize. So, like, I went to ballet school, and I thought I was going to be actually a ballet dancer. I was working towards that. And 5 years, I think, or so into the business, I started realizing that the industry was moving in a completely different direction where now we're seeing people asking for versatility. So as a choreographer, people don't want to see me put a ballet on stage at the Summer Awards this year and next year a ballet production again. They want to see something different. So what it means now is that dancers, the more versatile you are, the better equipped you are. As opposed to 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when dancers were specialists. So a jazz dancer was just a jazz dancer. Today, a Panzola dancer has to be more than just a Panzola dancer. to work and to survive in today's economy and today's market.
Who's the best dancer in the world now in terms of the performers, the musicians that we know, as far as you're concerned?
Musicians.
Yeah.
I would say, in terms of artistic integrity and in artistic quality, I would still say Beyonce, because as much as she's a musician, she brings on an entire production.
Yeah.
So she's able to bring in entertainment element and quality in as far as her dancers and a production that speaks to what I think Michael Jackson was back in the 80s, for example.
Yeah.
So in that way, I would say as an artistic musician, she's the one person that
And here at home?
Here at home, there's a lot, there's a number. I mean, I follow Lyra quite closely.
Yeah.
You know, her productions are quite amazing. We have Brian Temba, who is a musical genius. I'd love to see him actually go a little bit more in terms of production, because I think here at home, we tend to really, our musicians tend to just focus on music and not so much.
So much the showmanship.
Yes,
of it,
the theatrics, you know? Absolutely. So in that way, we have great, beautiful musicians like Kilukumalo, who I think can out-sing Beyonce any day, you know? So absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had Dr. Malinga here recently,
Yeah.
so I thought you were going to say
He's my homeboy, of course.
Dr. Malinga and his kicks, he would probably qualify for that.
No, he's an entertainer of note. As an entertainer, I bow down. Absolutely. He will keep you captivated, that man.
But that's part of the story, I suppose. You can sing and kick and do whatever.
And entertain the masses,
right?
right? People want to be entertained at home and they want to be taken on a journey, and I think he does absolutely.
Anyway, Paul, everything of the best, and congrats on your 10th anniversary, and that it's a journey of love now that you're taking into the continent, uncovering talent.
Thank you, sir.
And we appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, I hope I can be an example of what can be done with this dance business. We hope after his visit to the other African countries, Paul will come back and show us a couple of dance moves and convert a few of us. And that we will appreciate. I hope and
Good plan.
you enjoyed tonight's show. And from us, good night to you.